Welcome back to a special morning edition of Hangar Zilch79. Actually, it's not I don't know. Do we call it that? Anyway, it's the morning after the night. Just trying to get the realism going on. It's my day off. I'm drinking coffee after last night's nighttime IRL and in the sim seed mission. I figured I'd wake up and do it again. Excuse me, one second. I still got that cough. It's been here for like months. Should probably get that checked, huh? Alright. So what I want to do is like end run this campaign. There's 2 missions left and it's like tantalizing. I just want to get that campaign ticker to show that I've completed it. And I've got a bunch of open campaigns. Which ones have I? This Georgian Hammer one. I don't know how many missions this thing's got, but hopefully I'm close to finishing that one. Enemy with it. I need to do these. Gamblers. I have like one small role. Yeah, long story. I'm actually in this briefly. I was supposed to have a bigger role, but life happened and I got... Yeah. Anyway. Task Force Challenger. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. A lot of these I've started and just haven't finished. Yeah, I should probably just get these done. Anyway, onward. Onward and downward, as they say. Mission 9, looking at the mission briefing, is a close air support mission. It says CAS/interdiction. And we'll be carrying... 3 Mavericks times 2. 3 and... Oh, okay. 6 Mavericks. Let's check the waypoints. I didn't think the triple Maverick launchers were carried operationally. I know it's an option, but I don't think they actually use them. If you remember when the F-16 came out in DCS on the forums, there was like a big ol', DCS flavored controversy, as only DCS can do. They're not carried operationally. And then the other side was like, but they're wired for it, we should have the option. And ED was like, well, since they don't use them, why would we put them on there? That's a whole bunch of work we'd have to do to get it to work. And of course the community is like, we want the ability, if it's wired for it, we should have it. And then the F5 guys are like, well, we don't get our precious, so I guess, man. Yeah, DCS is special. I mean, I love the community. I still would put it up against any other gaming community that I've ever come into contact with. Would be the Subsim guys. They were pretty awesome. Star Citizen's pretty good too, as far as community support and just talent and stuff they bring to the table. As DCS fans go, I ain't shit. I don't mod anything. I don't do skins. Well, I was gonna make a campaign, but that got sidetracked too. I mean, I do voiceovers, but yeah, that hardly counts, I would say. That's just talking into a mic. It's really not hard. Not for this, anyway. An actual voice actor, that's different. There's a distinction between voiceovers and voice acting, anyway. Commander's intent. Oh, that sounds like a 5-paragraph order. You know what? I forgot to check my damn waypoints. It's alright. We'll figure it out. It'll be the one after the Marshall Point, I'm sure. Let's see. Let's get this thing cooking. Nice to have some daylight to fly in. It's amazing what a difference that makes. Shadows can't decide whether they're here or not. So what I'm probably going to do is fly these last two missions with a small break in between. Alright, everything coming up. Right, so I did want to talk about the F5 here. One second, let's check
Flight. Engage bandits.
out. Nope. What's our 30 QNH 30.15? Gotcha. The F5, right? It's one of my favorite modules. Probably one of my favorite planes. Apparently, from what I'm told, if the forums are to be believed, so our options for armament in the F5 is probably one of its biggest, limitations. Is you get the two sidewinders and on the wingtips, and that's kind of it. The rest are all unguided munitions. Well, apparently, the two weapon stations immediately inboard of those wingtip rails are actually wired for sidewinders, apparently. But because the U.S. Air Force has not certified them for use, they do not get used in DCS. Although other countries do that. Now, other countries using an airplane in a certain way does not mean that that matches U.S. Air Force configuration, which is what's modeled in DCS, right? So if you look at like a Brazilian F5, they got all kinds of crazy shit. Should probably bore sight these Mavericks. Well, that's handy. Alright, got a good point track on that crane. Once these Mavericks boot up, then we will bore sight them. Let's get some knowledge here. What's our push time? Takeoff time, or push?
Forward 1, airborne.
Int is 140. It is currently, we've got 35 minutes to get there. Our takeoff time is... Our taxi time is in 5 minutes. Takeoff at 10 minutes from now. That should be plenty of time to get that Maverick up and cooking. Yeah, and also apparently, because you've been online. I know you have. All you guys, I know, because you got nothing else to do, just like me. We're online and we're flipping through, looking at Google Images, and we're seeing F5s with Mavericks on the rails, or at least allegedly. I think some users do that. So hypothetically, I think per ED, or was it Belsim Tech, if you remember that whole thing. Sorry, I got some track IR issues here. The F5 is capable of Mavericks, but they don't know exactly how it's implemented, so they haven't modeled it. So that means we don't get it. Because if they can't do it right, they shouldn't do it. That's the premise. Good. Toggle over to the other weapon station. Don't you jump around on. Don't you jump on me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. What the hell is going on? No. Stop it. Ah! Good enough. Why is it going over that way? Is it trying to lock onto my steer point or something? Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. We will switch on over to this. This we don't need right now. Let's go to the. Actually, let's go to nav mode. Everything's all peaceful. Alright, taxi in 3 minutes. Or we could just use that 3 minutes to, you know, build some squish time into the mission. I think that sounds like a better idea. Everybody set up. We're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Over here. Final. Check. Comms good. That's good. We get our hammocks. Don't need that. RK3. Okay, master laser. Shut that off for now. Radios, lights, flight bit. I'm not gonna worry about the bit. Everything works. We know that. Okay, off we go. Been doing this a lot lately, and it's I mean, that's just life. It's like boom or bust. I get a lot of free time, or a lot of not free time. Actually, there's a ton of shit I should be doing, but it's my day off, and I'm drinking coffee. Once that coffee kicks in, we'll either finish this mission and then go to the last mission in the campaign, or go about me business. Currently drinking coffee as black and cold as my heart, and it's really hitting the spot. And it's looks like it's kind of a beautiful time to fly here in DCS. Everything looks really nice and got a sunrise going. Actually, that's the sunset. That's out in the west, so things will get darker as we go. Yeah. A nice evening mission, rather. Hope you guys all have fun Halloween plans. Today is Halloween-in. But, as I don't say often, but think often, every day is Halloween. And, I hope that song is playing in your head for the rest of the day, because it should be. Yeah. It's always a C-17. So if you guys are on Reddit, and I assume you are, if you go on to was it airplane identification? You know, people are like, "Hey, what's this plane? I saw it flying over my hometown or whatever." There is a corresponding subreddit called "It's Always a C-17." Hey, you know, I'm just at an NFL game and this thing flew over and I don't know what it is. It's always a C-17. There's a lot of subreddits like that where it's like, you know, something identification. There's one called vulture culture, which, you know, is interesting. Is folks who usually it overlaps taxidermy, but it's people who collect like natural just like a lot of it's seashells, but like if you're walking in the woods and you find some cool bones, it's like, oh, I'll keep that. That's vulture culture. But people often go onto that sub and like, what is this? And the corresponding, like, it doesn't look like anything I've ever seen before. And the answer is, it's always a raccoon. I think you can get a shirt with that. Like, it's always a raccoon. Like, I've never seen anything like it. It's like the if you want a sample of that, if you remember the Montauk monster, this barely you know, sort of unrecognizable creature was on the beaches of Montauk up in New York, I think. And it was like half decomposed and looking really gnarly, and it's like, I've never seen anything like this. It looks like whatever, and people are trying to figure out what it is. And anybody with a background in it's like, it's just a freaking raccoon, guys. It's always a raccoon. So in aviation, it's always a C-17. Let's go AA. Let's make sure we got everything cooking good for that. Okay, HSD. as well.
Colt 1, Nels departure. Clear tactical. Contact Dark Star. UHF, channel 16.
You're working? Yeah.
Dark Star Colt 1 as fragged. Request Sally corridor by a dream.
Colt 1, Dark Star, radar contact, and cleared Sally corridor via dream. You have shell tanker available, UHF channel 14, TACAN 83 Yankee. Arco tanker available, UHF channel 15, TACAN 94 Yankee. Words Alpha, comms jamming on all ranges, data link is not available. Words Bravo, Pontiac 1, mission cancelled. Victor, available on request. Lowdown, West HQ7 active, East SA15 active.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Really, you're the only one who's been chatting lately. But I'll do my best job at talking to myself just to keep it lively. As I get through the coffee, you'll hear more and more of that. Early fence check. I forgot what fence stands for. What is it? Fuel, ECM, navigation, something, countermeasures, and then I don't know. I mean, people know what it means, but like I can't never remember. It stands for like, you know, just get your shit together before you go into hostile area. I got my speed back so 4 doesn't burn his gas out. Might need his ass.
Tusk 1, airborne.
Oh man, the A-10s are just now taking off. They'll get there next week. Should probably fly that campaign too, the A-10 red flag. What's up, homie? Glad you could make it. I mean, look at this plane. You got this F-16 with these, like, you know, high wing loaded, you know, kind of stumpy wings. Loaded with, like, you know, 3 pods, 2 big ass fuel tanks, 6 Mavericks, you know, 2 AMRAAMs, 2 winders. The thing just looks like it's like, ugh. And an even worse picture, in my opinion. This is just my sense of aesthetics. The new F-16 variants that have like the conformal fuel tanks and that spinal, you know, it has two seats, and they've got that that dorsal rail full of avionics or whatever, and plus all this shit underneath the wings. It looks like it just doesn't want to live anymore. It's just like, you know, it goes from this light trim, super snappy, you know, knife fighting lean machine to, like, to me it looks like a tiny gymnast or horse jockey wearing football pads or, you know, armor, like knight armor, just riot armor, just like unable to move under the weight of it. I'm sure, I don't know what the performance actually is like, but it looks like it just doesn't want to be doing that. That's a far cry from the original YF-16 spec, which didn't even have a radar in it. I guess, you know, it's an adaptable airframe. With enough time and money, you can make it do anything, huh? It's kind of like with cars too. It's like something breaks. It's like, hey, can I fix this? It's like, yeah, absolutely, you can fix that. You can fix anything. And it may take, you know, months out of your life and more money than the car was worth to begin with. It's up to you to make that determination. But yeah, I'm talking about new build F-16s, I believe. Is the F-16? I think it's F-16E, if I remember right. Which was going to be what became the F-16XL, which is a super cool thing. Which lost the contract to the Strike Eagle, if I remember correctly. That's one thing I do like about Ace Combat. Like, they do throw in those what ifs, like those, you know, almost made it, you know, airframes. So you got like the F-16XL, the F-4X, the F-15 active, which is like batshit. Like, that thing is just, you know, insane. It's like an F-15 with Hornet horizontal stabs attached to it as canards and vectored thrust. That thing just looks like it would just break aerodynamics altogether. With all that power and that much, anyway, that thing must have been. I think NASA has it now, but I think NASA ended up with the F-16XL as well, didn't it? They built two of those, and I think it was like a single seat and a dual seat, and I think NASA got one or both. And then one of them, they made it asymmetrical, if I remember right. Like the leading edge on one side, they trimmed back. I can't remember why. Ace Combat also has the F-20, which is all I ever use if it's available. I think Ace Combat 4 and 0 had the F-20, I think. Does 5? Which one's 5? 5 is... No. Ace Combat 4 may not have it. No, 5 has it. And then 6 doesn't. 7 doesn't. Yeah, I can't... Yeah. What Ace Combat 0 does have, in addition to the F-20, is a bunch of other, like, the planes, the likes of which I grew up with, which is fantastic, but it has the best fucking soundtrack I've ever heard. And if you don't agree, you're wrong, and I hate you. No, it's just fucking awesome. So just the menu music in Ace Combat 0 just freaking kicks ass. Like, something about... So I'm trying to figure out... Should I do it? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm just gonna play it. Let me pause this, find a way to play what I'm talking about so you can hear what I'm talking about. And it's the kick drum. That kick drum just... It's got a slap to it and a thump that's just absolutely top. Should I do it? I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna do it. Sorry, I'm gonna pause this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna fiddle around with I'm gonna Alt Tab, make it a little dicey here, but just bear with me because because I'd like you to hear at least a little sample of what I'm talking about here. That's a good one. Yeah, okay, so that... Not that. This might be it. Yeah, that'll do. Just listen to the kick drum. Turn it up as loud as possible. Hear what I'm talking about? That shit just slaps. And I don't say slaps lightly. And this one here too. That might be a little loud, sorry. I need, yeah. All right, I'm gonna, yeah, back that off a little. I should check my levels. Yeah, sorry about that. That was totally impromptu. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, that soundtrack is the, dudes, that thing just, I probably, got a copyright strike for it, but, whatever. Worth it to bring the slapping kick drum to you guys if you haven't been exposed to that yet. And if you haven't, well, I mean, you're wrong, and I hate you. No, it's a fun game. Something about OSTs often from Japan. They hit different. They use different chord progressions too. If you want to get into that. Hang on a second. 7 is the Marshall. Okay. Right. So I was, having a conversation online as one does. And somebody was like, I hate, so this is not me, but somebody was like, I hate every anime theme song. They all sound the same. And I was like, aha, I got you. This is, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm saying this is why you probably do. You just do not like the Royal Road chord progression. It's called the Royal Road chord progression, and it's something that's common in like damn near every anime theme song you've heard. You know, they have that kind of, it's a feel to it. It's not anything magical or anything like that. It's just they use a certain chord progression in theme songs that has that that feel, and it's exactly the same idea as like 145 blues or any other chord progression.
All players, Dark Star, pre-push briefing. Full up war, visibility good with clear skies. Words Alpha, comms jamming on all ranges. Data link is not available. Words Bravo, Pontiac 1, mission cancelled. Picture, available on request. Lowdown, West HQ 7, active. East, SA-15, active.
That's what makes blues blues, is that chord progression. And if it's not that chord progression, there's only so far you can go away from it without it being blues anymore. And there's that those guys that made fun of like every pop song by using the progression to show how exactly the same they are just by changing the lyrics mid-song. Damn, I can't tag my luggage on that, but it's hysterical. They're like, hey, every pop song is the same, and they just like skewer everything. It's because, you know, well, as far as Western American pop goes, there's only like really 2 to 10 songwriters in the entire fucking industry, and they reuse the same chord progression constantly. There are exceptions, but not many. It's what makes pop pop. That's what makes it so accessible. It's what makes it recognizable and easy to digest. It has a formula. It's formulaic. It's literally formulaic. Here we are talking about music theory. Yeah, so the thing is, wow, that's cool visuals. I'm not picking on pop in particular, although I'll do that all day. Blues is the same. It's fairly formulaic. It's 12 bars, 145. You know, you pentatonic minor scales. It's, you know, and if you go too far out of that, it doesn't sound like blues anymore. So it's hard. It takes more. I would say it takes more talent to sound original within a formulaic genre like that than, you know, avant-garde shit, which risks sounding, you know, you get into atonality, and, you know, it's not so much musical anymore if you go too far outside. And, you know, the farther away from comfort you go, the more you shrink your audience, which, you know, you have to make that call between being able to pay your bills and writing something original. I'd say the most talented musicians can strike that balance. That's what makes them stand out. And that's why I'm not a musician professionally. Made a good go of it, though. Had a lot of fun with it, but it's almost impossible to make music and make money from it these days, if you're going to be a songwriter or composer of any kind. Unless you, I don't even know. I don't know how to do it, or probably would have done it already. Alright, so let's check our briefing again, because I need to figure out. We got to check in with these. We are ahead of schedule, which is good. I'm going to cycle back to 7. Put it on auto while I review these. Are the Special Forces guys on strike common? Target's on range 75. Also, I'm gonna let the fighter sweep and the seed guys do their get rid of this crap for us. Dogfighting flankers with 6 Mavericks under my wings doesn't sound like a fun time to me. But I mean, scratch that. It does sound fun, but it doesn't sound successful. Range 75 G-Tech not available. Remain after tasking. I guess they can be on strike common. Alright. Well, we'll check in with him on the way to waypoint 8. Let's give it a couple more minutes here. Ugh. Yeah, making money with music is damn near impossible now. Like, unless you're already locked into the industry somehow. The days of, I mean, it's always been almost impossible, but now it's worse. And there's a few reasons for that. The most immediate threat I would say is AI slop, because fuck that shit. I don't, whatever. Don't get me started on that. The other is, let's say like the song if you tuned in at the start, I guess I could go ahead and play there's a, song I recorded that, I put in my, like, waiting music. And, I recorded that using a laptop and, let's say a few $100 worth of gear, right? You can get Reaper, a digital audio workstation, for free, and if you want to get the public or the non-educational version, you want to actually use it commercially, then you can spend the $60, and then you can download any number of VSTs, soft synths, and get a Korg or any kind of USB keyboard, and have MIDI over USB, like super cheap, under $1,000. You want a guitar and some pedals? Yeah, sure, go for it. But like, the point is, if somebody like me can record a song like that for very little money, people with more time and a bit more money, and I would say arguably less. It's easy to write and record music of low quality, and we have a market that's absolutely saturated with people who may not be horrible, it may not be great, but it's almost impossible to be heard by anyone because it's so easy to make music now. And that's probably true of any art. And my visual artist friends probably complain. Chime in if you have experience with that. And then AI is just decimating all of us, because the people who would pay for art, who would have been forced to because humans were the only ones doing it, they don't give a fuck about art outside of it being a product that's marketable. So if the majority of people can listen to formulaic music and pop being by definition fairly formulaic, and if you have a formula, you can program this and AI can make it.
Ford 1, showtime. You're dead.
Sorry, Ford. You see where that's going. I mean, why would they pay an actual human when they could much more cheaply get a 60 to 70% solution of computer-generated AI pop slop? You know what I mean? It's just, it's like dead internet theory writ large on our culture, and that's that's really freaking concerning. Anyway, let's check in with JTAC. Feel free to like and subscribe.
Whiplash 1-1. This is Colt 1-4 F-16. Papa Bravo 5881 at 21,000. Armed with AGM-65D 500 cannon. Playtime is 0 plus 30. Available for tasking. What do you have for us? Colt 1. This is Whiplash 1-1. Type 2 in effect. Advised and ready for 9-line.
Why am I not getting ground search radar? Well, let's not worry about that right now.
Ready to copy. Line is as follows. Banks 2, 6, 9, 10 nautical, 6,000 feet. MSL. AAA. November. Bravo 6.
Ah, shit.
6, 8, 5, 8, 2, 6. Marked by laser. 1, 6, 8, 8. Southeast 2,300 meters. Troops in contact. Egress east through Banks. Advisement ready for remarks and further talk on.
Okay, so what I got is there's tanks about 1 mile west of Waypoint Banks, so we need to figure out what Banks is. In our, there's got to be an active pause. All right. Sorry, guys. No flash. Waypoint Banks. Let's assume it's Waypoint 8, and let's get that going. Where's my, what is going on here? That looks like something. That's an aircraft. That's how we break F-16s, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there is a it is marked by laser, so let's go with that. What I want to know too is why I don't have a cursor 0 option on that targeting pod.
Ready to copy remarks.
Sort of.
Request AGM 65D. Zeus north 3 nautical. Zeus north 0 nautical. Wind 180 at 3 meters per second.
What the hell is going on with my avionics here, guys? I know I've messed it up, I just want to know exactly how. Ah. Maybe if I wasn't an idiot. Let's see. No, that didn't fix it either.
November Bravo 6268582 Read back correct. Report IP inbound.
Why don't you give me a sparkle there, guy? Another way to do this would be to take the coordinates he read out to us and create a waypoint based on that. But he gave us MGRS, and we are using stupid decimal lat long.
Colt 1, IP inbound. Colt 1, continue.
Of course, there's an SA-15. Let's take a turn north while I figure my shit out. I feel like I show up to a meeting without good notes, and they're like, "Hey, you've got your presentation ready, right?" And I'm like, well, you know, can't we just Google this?" Yeah, so according to this briefing, if I knew which waypoint was Waypoint Banks, I could figure that out. I just, let's see. All right, let's turn around here. I drifted too far north. 8 looks like the IP, so Banks is probably number 9. Let's go with that.
All players, Dark Star. North SA-15, destroyed.
Well, that's a relief. Why is that camera trucking to the right? It's not ground stabilized. Okay, that's why I was in a turn. Okay, duh. No, see, now it's doing the same shit. I don't see a damn thing. Let's try other waypoints, I guess. Yeah, this might be a short mission. If I had a way to convert MGRS to lat long, I would just.
All players, Dark Star. Forward 1, alive, east reset.
Colt 1, laser on. Laser on. Blazing. Terminate. No mark.
You son of a bitch. I need that. I have no idea where you are. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, so this is where we learn what we don't know. I do not know how to convert MGRS to decimal that long, nor do I know how to do an offset from said thing. Wait, what's this? That looks promising. That's something. Let's see if that's what our guys.
Colt 1, what is my target? Colt 1, your target is AAA.
None of this looks like AAA to me. No, this looked like.
Counter. Counter. Counter.
I may have to go back to the briefing. I came to this shit unprepared.
All players, Dark Star, pop-up threat, HQ7 active, bullseye, 198 for 24.
Yeah, no shit. Just doing my part to identify threats.
Colt 1, what is my target? Colt 1, your target is AAA.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to redo this because. Okay, this is pissing me off. Okay, you know what? Yeah, that was not. Where I'm. Can't you hear the tone of my voice? You're gonna lose your progress. That's the idea. So the briefing doesn't. I need to learn some things. Let's see. Wait. I should be doing this offline, but since we're here. There's a coordinates picker, if I remember correctly. This may be the worst stream ever. Map coordinates picker, F10. That's what we need. All right. Whoa, what are you doing? Whoa, 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 what the hell? I think I've been sitting on the lobby screen waiting for the stream to start for like an hour and it never did. Turns out it did start. YouTube just never turned it on. If you did anything embarrassing in the last hour I didn't see. Oh yeah, that's great. I did nothing embarrassing that required me to restart the entire freaking mission because I don't know how to work the systems in the F-16. You know. I don't know what it's doing here. Yeah, so I'm used to JTAC and the A-10, right? Because the A-10 uses MGRS like a sensible close air support aircraft would. Check in with JTAC and the F-16 and it gives you, you know, MGRS. But the F-16 doesn't use MGRS, it uses decimal lat long or some bullshit. So it's like, hey, attack these things. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let me write that. Oh, shit. I also need to get a pencil and paper to write that down, probably. Because the hog has that thing where you get the, it's like standby data, and then you get the little text message with the coordinates, so you don't have to like remember a string of gibberish. The 16 doesn't have that. So what he gave me was an offset from an IP banks, initial point banks. It's like, okay, offset, you know, 189 for 6,000 feet, so a little over a mile. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll just slew my pod onto IP banks and then, you know, go west with from that, you know. But I don't know which waypoint was IP banks. So, you know. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's pulling all the other modules that may also use that. All right, we're gonna do it like this. Coordinates picker. I think I've got a throttle button that's not being used. All right, that might help convert the units. Also, we need to look at the and we get to enjoy the sunset again. And we learned something about what we do not know. Mission planner. Okay, I'm sure IP banks is labeled as such in the mission planner, but once you start the mission, even when you're sitting on the ramp, you can't see that shit. So let's see. It doesn't tell us. Well, shit. It's 8, 9, 10, or 11. It's one of those. Oh, god damn it. I'm not happy just now. Ah! No, select this. No, select it. Keep it. Keep it. Thanks. Right there. Okay, so It's going to be 1 mile east, 1 mile west, 6,000 feet west of Banks. That's got to be this group right here. Those are trucks. No, the target was AAA. It's got to be this group. Two tanks. Some trucks. Bunkers. So Banks is 8. Got it. And then 9. That's it right there. What is this? A Shilka. Okay. That's more than 6,000 feet, my dude. That's 6. That's like 8 miles. In fact, that's closer to waypoint 12. This music, right. Okay. Go ye to YouTube. And yeah, apologies to anybody who's heard this whole thing before. Alright, so what I think I'm gonna do is go to, when he does this, I'm gonna go to steer point 12, put my pod on that, and go northeast a bit to hit that. So 12 is the thing. Banks, okay, so that's better planning. Okay. Alright, we got this. We got this. Okay, so the music. There it was a, imagine if you will, late 80s, early 90s, there's a series of VHS tapes that came out, and you'd find them in bookstores. Remember bookstores? Like Walden Books? And, you know, Dad would, anything with airplanes in it, he'd pick them up and we'd watch them. And, you know, because there was no internet. The only way to watch cool footage of airplanes was like on Discovery Channel or, you know, those precious VHS tapes you had. But anyway, there was this one called, it's entitled, and you can find it on YouTube, Fast Jets 2. Which is where that comes from. And, hang on one second. Yeah, Fast Jets 2, usually it's spelled with Roman numeral 2. And it was this weird-ass, I would say music videos centered around, each one of them around a U.S. Air Force airframe. There was one called Combat. It was about red flags. There's tons of F-5s doing cool F-5 shit, and F-15s and F-4s when they still flew those. And, you know, and the music was all just synthy stuff like you're hearing. There's one for the F-111, one for the Thunderbirds, and I think a lot of it was promotional footage from McDonnell Douglas, like talking about the F-15, mixed with who knows what. I was about to say it sounded like the music narrator would speak over in a show footage in the 1990s. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they did that specifically, but it's just on that weird ass VHS tape. But that whole movie, or whatever you want to call it, that whole feature is on YouTube, and you'll see my comments when you go to when you find it. You'll see my comments on there, like, "Oh my God, you know, blast from the past. I can't believe this still exists," you know. So, but my favorite song on that tape was the one for the F-16, which is the one that you just heard. There's one for the F-15. There was one for the, I'm trying to remember. There's one, Thunderbirds, Red Flag, F-15, F-111, F-16. Nothing for the A-10. So what I loved about that tape was the A-10 was in it for like 5 seconds. And it was like, unless you went to an air show, like, where do you see an A-10? Like, nobody gave a shit about the A-10 back then. This is like pre-Desert Storm. Oh, I just aged. Oh shit. Yeah, this is pre-Desert Storm, right? So this is like, you know, Cold War. The most recent conflict in memory was let's see, 30.15. Yeah, if you remember, that weird, you know, the 80s and up until 91, the sentiment around the military was very different than what it is now. The most recent conflict anybody really knew of was Vietnam, and we know how that went. So veterans didn't really. It was kind of like the opposite of what you see now. Like they just kind of laid low and they didn't really talk about it too much, and they had a stigma. And, yeah, it was a thing. Anyway, if you like that tune, yeah, to go to YouTube. It's called Fast Jets 2, and you can watch the whole thing. Yeah, the Red Flag IMAX movie. I think I've got that on VHS somewhere too. In one of those puffy bookcases, the book containers you'd get the tapes in. If you remember those. And now we wait. Yeah, I think I remember that. I don't know if it's the same Red Flag movie, but I had a pretty good documentary about it. And there was a lot of footage that overlapped. The video I'm talking about called Fast Jets 2 that had No! Correction. Fast Jets was a different documentary. I apologize. This one was called Top Gun Jets 2. You know, what I'll probably do is I'll find that video and throw it in the description just to make sure everybody gets it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's got an A10 in it, and it's I think this is back when they were painted Euro 1 paints. This A10 is special. It was part of the JAWS or JAT exercises, and they did like a new paint job like every day depending on the weather and the environmental conditions, and it's like a light grayish green with spots. Looks like a leopard kind of. And it does a couple of turns within like 3 seconds, and then it's gone. You never see the A10 again. Everybody hated the A10 back then. They were trying to get rid of it. This is like 89, 90, right? So the A10 at that time was like this black sheep. Like everybody hated it. The Air Force hated it. You know, the only reason the Air Force had it was because the Army was like, hey, we'll take it. And they're like, oh, no, we'd rather take it than have anybody else have it, I guess. So like, they're like, it's fixed wing, it's ours, you know, you can't have it. And the Air Force like begrudgingly took on the A10 just to kind of, you know, keep the Army from having it, I guess, if I remember correctly. And they were trying to cancel it. They're like, it's not fast, you know, it can only do one thing, and you know, it's, you know, the whole thing. Yeah, bore set my shit here. Bore sights. Toggle over. Once again, we are jerking to the left for some stupid ass reason. Good enough. Unlock. Unlock. Alright, I think we're good. Good enough. We're ready to roll. I feel like an F-16 with a gun pod would blue on blue me. I mean, it's more dangerous for the A-10 pilot, but I like a straight wing, low stall speed plane for CAS. Yeah, exactly. And you know, the Hog isn't working on its own. It's one part of a whole. You know, it's like this red flag here. We're just one part of a. We're doing the CAS, but everybody else is doing their thing. Everybody's got their role to play. It's combined arms or whatever you want to call it. Oh, related, the A-16. The only thing to come out of that was that F-16s apparently look super awesome in Euro 1 camo. So they put, they took some F-16s and decided, oh, well, you know, it's got a lot of the same systems in the A-10, but it's faster and therefore more survivable or whatever. So they made this special project called the A-16. And they're like, well, we'll just put a 30mm gun pod on it. So they did that. They put it like a centerline gun pod. It's like a 3-barrel Avenger. I forgot what they called it. And, you know, it's got its lantern pod, you know, night attack pods and all that other shit, the kind of stuff we see. And it looked really cool. And it sounded cool. But then when they actually went to try it, the, I think it might have gotten deployed in Desert Storm, if I remember right. And aside from looking cool, they found that the gun pod, its dispersion was so high. It's not, you know, the Avenger, like they built the Hog around the Avenger for a reason, right? It needs to be locked down and part of the, you know, the synergistic system. And the A-16, so imagine this jet I'm in now, but with a big ass freaking 30mm gun pod on the center line. What they found is the vibrations and the dispersion, like the gun pod did not work, and its CEP, like its dispersion, drew a wider circle than CBU does. So the pilots were like, fuck it, they would stand off and just kind of spray it as like an area weapon and then just use cluster bombs anyway. So there was no point to it, and it failed miserably. It's this huge thing. It was a failure, and then that combined with just how damn well the Hog did in Desert Storm saved that aircraft. You know, it was on the chopping block in like 1990. It was going to go away. They hated it. Which, and to me, I know there's a reason for this. I forgot why. Probably just money. But like, why the Marines didn't pick up the Hog, I don't know. Seems like it'd be perfect for them. They're all about CAS. Everything supports the infantry in the Marine Corps. And at that time, the Navy was flying the S-3, which had a common engine. So if you ever go to NAS Jax, well, they used to, not so much anymore, but NAS Jacksonville, there was a big, there were always S-3s flying around there. And we'd see A-10s come in to NAS Jax to go to the engine shop there and get their TF-34s fixed up, I guess. Hardpoint there is fine for a bomb EFT, but it wasn't made to stable gun attachment point. Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to, you know, there were more problems than I can summarize here with the A-16. But again, that paint job did look awesome on this airframe. I'll give it that. There's a good book about the A-10. I think it's just called Warthog, and it came out shortly after Desert Storm. And it's just about the Hog and how it came to be, and then, you know, how it performed in ODS, and you know, talking to the crews, the pilots, everybody, and they were conservative on their numbers. They kicked so much ass. The numbers are just staggering, even when they were trying to like put up conservative ones. the ways the Su-25 found continued relevance in modern conflict is not solely based on their availability in an emergency. Right, yeah, that's... So, and it's weird. I am not going to armchair quarterback people who do this for a living and know more about it than I do, right? But what I'm talking about with the A-16 sounds a lot like track IR problems. Holtz, okay, I can't. It sounds a lot like F-35 now. But also understand, like, the A-10 has been in heavy use since the late 70s, early 80s. Even with re-winging them and everything, like, you know, as you were talking about yesterday, like, combat airframes, like, it's not like you can just buff it out. You know, metal fatigue is a thing. You know, they're not going to last forever, especially with what we've been putting them through, right? But then... And the threat has changed too. You know, the Hog has got kind of a hordes of tanks pouring across the Fulda Gap, fighting delaying action until the rest of NATO can come and reinforce, you know, like that whole thing, and adaptable to a bunch else. But I remember my dad, he's like, yeah, the Russians are terrified of this thing. It's the only thing they can destroy their tanks, and they eat them for breakfast. And I was like, that sounds cool. Turns out Dad was right. Everybody was right. Everybody who liked the A-10 was, like, right about that. It has been consistently, like, one of the most effective, especially cost-effective things we've ever had, I would argue. Big gun, easy to understand military power. Yeah, right. A-10's popularity with the public is partially based on the same reason everyone likes the 45 caliber pistol. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. Also, they work. I don't think there's any amount of, well, I was about to say something that was completely false. There's no amount of fanfare or marketing that could ever convince Americans that a shitty product is any good. I'm like, oh, no. Quite wrong. But the Hog 2, from the veterans I've talked to...
Mills departure. Clear tactical. Contact Dark Star. UHF, channel 16.
Who...
Dark Star Colt 1 as fragged. Request Sally corridor via Dream.
were provided cast by the Hog. They all, like, man, we love
Dark
those
Star,
things.
Radar contact and cleared Sally corridor via Dream. You have shell tanker available, UHF channel 14, TACAN 83 Yankee. Arco tanker available, UHF channel 15, TACAN 94 Yankee. Words Alpha, comms jamming on all ranges, data link is not available. Words Bravo, Pontiac 1, mission cancelled. Picture available on request. Lowdown, West HQ7 active, East SA15 active.
Yeah, and so I don't have any personal insight into this firsthand, but my late brother was a veteran of the Battle of Fallujah. He was a Navy corpsman, so he went in there with the Marines and went door to door, you know, crazy shit, right? But he would talk about close air support, and you know, they would get covered by Hornets a lot, and he'd be like, it was great, but they would come in, you know, do as many passes as they could, which wasn't many, and then they'd have to go back. They were out of fuel. What he loved was the Cobras, because they would go there and just stay there. Just so he would just, you could just see how he was talking about how much better he felt just knowing those Cobras were over his head, right? And they were flown by Marines, right? So he was like, well, this is Marines covering other Marines, which I guess, you know, there's some solidarity there, some camaraderie that, I don't know. I've not served, but you know, this is me relaying my brother's story. But he loved those Cobras. He said they would come cover you and they would stay there. And like, what other thing too he liked about the Cobras is that they were like so forward deployed. He's like, I can't tell you how forward deployed they are, but they are forward deployed. Like, right, I assume they were, like, right up there with him, you know. And he said the Cobra guys would, like, they'd sleep under their helos right up there, right close to him. Just having that kind of support has got to be pretty nice, I would imagine. Enemy cannot choose their attack strategy with impunity so long as fire can rain on them from the sky. It's fully revealed their... Yes. And, you know, that's where, like, even if you don't... Just a show of force, like, overflight or whatever, a thump. Yeah, that'll force them to put their heads down. They don't want to get strafed.
Tusk 1, airborne.
Back to Desert Storm, if you remember this, they were using, and this is fun, B-52s for close air supports. I saw a video of that once, and it was so, you know, I saw the, it was just a video of like a B-52 flying really low so you could see it and just going blah, and all those freaking bombs just, you know what it looked like. And, they had people surrender just because they had seen a B-52 perform close air support some distance away, and they were like, fuck it, I'm out. So that's where stuff like this is where you can look at what a system can and can't do and make comparisons and be like, oh, probably. But there's stuff you just can't factor for until you
Pontiac, airborne.
rapid dragon close air support from cargo planes. Yeah, right. Yeah. Were there was it their hell firing out of C-130s and shit? Use what you got. I mean, if you can adapt an airframe to do something, it can do it. It doesn't really matter if it was designed for the thing. It just matters if it has the required traits to do the job. It doesn't matter if it's an F or an A or a C or whatever you put in front. You can always change that later, by the way. But you know, if it can do the thing, it can do the thing. But you know, there's just no way to know what's going to be most effective until the events actually take place. And you know, B-52s as a close air support platform does not sound... It's like, what, are you kidding? But like, it was so damn effective, so devastating that one run could cause huge numbers of enemies to just like, fuck it, I'm out, I surrender. Makes sense in retrospect. But again, this is 1991. So that was, the Soviet Union had just collapsed, and we've got a Cold War military designed to fight a superpower, all leveled at like Iraq, which was no shit. People forget this. At that time, it looked like a baby Soviet Union. It was equipped with all the Soviets' shits. They were trained by the Soviets. It was the world's 4th largest military at that time, which I think would have been U.S., Russia, China, then Iraq. That's how big it was. It looked like it was going to be a big freaking knockdown dragout. But you know, we were. That was like the war that that NATO was designed to fight, kind of, a variant of it. And it's just like, well, everything worked as it should have. And man, watching that go down was like, damn. That was a steamroller. Like, that just wasn't even funny. And we had so much cool shit then too. So we still had a lot of the cool shit left from Vietnam era, right? Plus the new hotness. We had the 117. We had, you know, 15s, 16s, 14s. Hell yes, the whole thing, the whole spectrum. Plus A7s and A6s and EF-111s and EA6s and stuff. Those we don't have anymore. So, you know, then after, man, I can go on about this. Soviet Union collapses, politics changes, and then they do BRAC and start shutting things down and canceling programs. We lost the EB-52, we lost the EF-111. You know, a lot of stuff, a lot of bases shut down. That's 90s, right? But we did have a balanced budget for like a hot minute. our area was benefited from BRAC. Some places did, right? My area did not. I'm on the Space Coast. So Patrick Air Force Base, now Space Force Base, during those times was like a damn ghost town. Have you ever watched those videos exploring the closed bases after BRAC? No! I assume there's some YouTube coverage of that. Probably similar to what... Yeah, so Space Coast, Florida. This is about the same time too. A few years after that, they canceled the space shuttle program. And you when you see how government spending supports, like, it's like, oh, I don't want to spend, I don't want to spend money on space when people are whatever. It's like, dude, there are so many add-on effects when investments are made in the right places. They support entire cities, right? Is that frozen in time but decaying but fenced off and not graffitied and stuff? Yeah, exactly. That's how it was around here for quite a while until Artemis kicked in and SpaceX came in, and see inside the buildings, you can see what we're proud of at the time, like the space shuttle program. Right. I mean, hell yeah, that was so inspiring, right? And there's so many. This is where NASA, like, I fucking love NASA, if you can't tell, but where they failed in the late 90s and early 2000s, and I would say even now, is marketing. Everybody likes NASA, right? But what are they actually doing, and more than that, what are the net benefits of giant programs, which are wearing a NASA shirt right now? Hell yes. And I'm next to a model of the space shuttle, which my dad was given when he retired. He was actually my dad, cool, he was a engineer, but he was a crane engineer in the VAB. So when they were stacking up the shuttle, that was him, coordinating that and making sure everything worked. That was pretty cool. But he never really talked about it that much. But yeah, the advances in tech that you get when you're trying to accomplish something that you can't currently do is huge, right? It's like, oh, I don't think we should do a space program, blah blah blah. We got people starving here. It's like, yeah, well, first off, it's not either our choice. Second, how did you navigate here? Was it a GPS by any chance? Did you use digital technology at all? Any solid state computers ever in your life? You ever you ever used the Weather Channel? Like it goes on and on and on and on, and like NASA's been like, oh hey, by the way, we also did this cool shit for everybody, but like it isn't really driven home how these effects stack and stack and stack and stack and stack and the whole world benefits. And that is, people are like, oh, I don't want to spend, I don't want the government spending billions on a space shuttle. It's like, dude, it's like, motherfuckers, you have no idea. It's not just a bunch of, well, I mean, it is a lot of Star Trek fans wanting to do that, but also the net benefit to not just the country, but the world's like, you can't, it's so big you can hardly measure it. Aside from just educationally, and I'm going to get into conspiracy territory here in about 5, 4, 3. How many of us saw a space shuttle launch or a rocket and said, I'm getting all emotion. How many of us as Americans or just humans saw that and said, I want to do that? And you said, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a pilot, I want to be an astronomer. And then your parents are like, okay, great, that's awesome. That's a great goal, because no matter what, if you set your sights that high, you're going to kick ass wherever you land. So you buckle in, you study science, you study mathematics, you study communication, all that stuff. And no matter what, you're better equipped to handle anything that comes your way because you set your sights high, right? Because that's what astronauts give us it's not just what they are doing directly, it's the opportunity to do that or something like it. Or should you try and fail, like this guy, the things you learn to do as you are pursuing that goal will help you succeed no matter where the hell you go. And that's on a micro and macro scale, right? If we're thinking big and we're innovating, we're driving things and we're doing things because they are hard, not because they are easy. God, then you're still kicking ass. You know what I mean? The Venn diagram of people say we shouldn't spend on that. We have starving people, and I'm okay with poor people having low income benefits. It's just two crickets that circles that don't touch. Let me read that again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I don't think either of those circles have it right.
All players, Dark Star, pre-push briefing. Full up war, visibility good with clear skies. Words Alpha, comms jamming on all ranges. Data link is not available. Words Bravo, Pontiac 1, mission cancelled. Picture, available on request. Lowdown, West HQ 7, active. East, SA-15, active.
It's like as a country, as a culture. I'm going to just broaden this to include all of, let's say, Western culture, right? There's enough to go around. It's not like, I mean, depending on what scale you look at, it's not this zero-sum thing where you can only do one thing and not the other. That's bullshit. You can do it all. You can take care of your people, and you can push the limits of technology at the same time. And while you're pushing technology and you're taking care of people, you're inspiring others to be better and giving them hope that they can do something amazing. And that's why you fucking fund education. Because we need that. Every dollar you spend on education like raises the bar and the quality of life for everybody. It's like it yields, I forget, I can't cite my source on this, I apologize, but for every it's like the most cost effective thing you can do is fund education, straight up. I study, I've made a hell of a study of criminality. Getting into some serious shit here, are we not? And what's interesting to study is what people focus on, like how criminals become criminals, why they do it, and why, how they get caught and whatever, and the levels of it. But what's even more interesting is why non-criminals are not. What keeps you and me from becoming criminals? Well, you have hope. You have a reasonable expectation that if you put in the work, you're going to have a good outcome. You have education, you have skill sets, you have a tie to the community that you're a part of, and something to lose. And if you don't have anything to lose, if you are not invested and you are not tied in, if you're not educated, you do not have a skill set which you believe can pay your bills, then you're going to resort to alternate means of procurement, so to speak, and just not be engaged and not really give a shit about the system that doesn't invest in you. It goes both ways. You can't just expect people to pull themselves up from the bootstraps. That is a non-starter. That's not how things work. Everybody needs help from the start, and it can't all come only from one's own family, because not every family is capable of doing that. And you're going to have to live with everybody, whether you wanted to pay for them or not. So what condition do you want them to be in? I'm going on. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. If people understand why companies invest in R&D, they should understand easily why nations should invest in publicly owned R&D. Damn right! That is extremely well said. Gotta R&D, develop your people. Or you're going to end up with a brain drain and have to import that from elsewhere, or just suck it up. And, yeah, and I gotta, that's my conspiracy theory thought too, is like, why is the Department of Education fearing for its life? It's like, well, educated people, and it's not just education, it's not knowledge, it's more important, and this is what I tell my kid. What you know is not as important as how to learn. That you can think critically, solve problems for yourself, and find the knowledge that you need, and make sure that knowledge is not bullshit. Critical thinkers are good lie detectors, are better at it. Nobody's perfect, but like you got to be skeptical, and by skeptical I don't mean don't believe anything. It's like if you believe something, make sure that it's, you know, credible. It comes from not just a credible source, that's part of it, but that they use good methods, that they're not out to get you money, etc., etc. And that's what education gets you.
Papa Bravo 6263 at 18,000. I have AGM-65D 500 cannon. Playtime is 0 plus 30. Available for tasking. What do you have for us?
So, an uneducated public, a public who cannot think critically, is very easy to exploit and very, very likely to make bad choices, buy shit they don't need, succumb to shitty marketing, waste money on things that they do not need and only benefits the people who are selling that shit to you, and make really bad decisions, not just in life, but when they vote and affect the rest of us. Just saying. Detecting bullshit is a life skill. And politics is the art of bullshit, writ large. And the more skeptical, critical thinkers we have, the less shitty outcomes we're going to experience. And if you think that they are looking out for your interests by fucking over everybody you tend to disagree with, you have fallen for a classic trap. What drives me nuts is how many people don't understand pull yourself up by your bootstraps as an intentional absurdity. Yes, I was just about to say that. They say it unironically to imply some people just aren't working hard enough. Yeah, exactly. So bootstraps, if you can imagine them, are the straps on the back of your boots, and if you bend over and pull up real hard, you're just going to hurt your back because you cannot break the laws of physics. Yes, exactly. I'm glad you said that. I got distracted by my own rant and was going to mention the bootstrap thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be an absurdity, like a task that is impossible to complete. Like, oh, why can't you just do it? It's like, thanks, bro, I'm cured.
Ready to copy. Line is as follows. Banks 2, 6, 9, 10 nautical 6,000 feet MSL AAA November Bravo 6, 2, 6, 8, 5, 8, 2, 6 marked by laser 1, 6, 8, 8 southeast 2,300 meters. Troops in contact. Egress east.
November Bravo 6.
Advise when ready for remarks and further talk on.
I may need him to repeat that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, I don't think there's a... Why am I not getting that thing I just bound? Oh yeah. So I'm hitting the wrong key. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna have to suspend my rant and focus on the task at hand here. So I have it bound, it's just not working. Left shift, left one, pause. Alright, so I guess I'm going to just use the waypoint 12 trick then.
Ready to copy remarks.
think the target is this little guy right here. Then you have been bamboozled. Correct, quite so.
6,000. November, Bravo, 6268582. Readback correct. Report IP inbound.
Ford 1, showtime. You're dead.
So that should be waypoint 12. Oh. Looking for a Zeus around here somewhere.
Colt 1, Dark Star, check north for container.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. I just ended my virtual career. I wonder if I can go to laser spot search mode over in this area. Wait.
Colt 1, IP inbound. Colt 1, continue. Colt 1, laser on.
Do me a solid. Do me a solid.
Field 1, showtime. You're dead.
No, it's not acquiring. Yeah. Well, I might be out of ideas here. So yeah, I love the space program. And I can't find this Shilka. I'm totally cheating. Fuck it. Let's see. Laser spot search should still be on. I'm totally gonna cheat. I just don't feel like redoing this whole damn mission. It should be out here somewhere.
Counter.
You know, if this was IRL, I could just ask him to. Hang on a minute. Remember slogans like "Space is the place"? Yeah, I mean, that was going on. In my hometown, when we were actually launching shuttles. There were billboards and stuff all over the place. Wait a minute.
All players, Dark Star, pop-up threat, HQ7 active, bullseye,
No.
198 for 24.
What am I even looking at? Tanopa? So this ZSU in question, it should be right at my 7 o'clock. So, if I put it in laser spot track and have him laze it, I should pick it up. But that's not going on. Wait. Got it. Sort of. Locked. Mark.
Colt 1, spot.
Okay, so where's that? Right off my nose. Why is my Maverick being stupid? Why is my Maverick being stupid? Okay, anyway, we got it on the pod. That's the important thing. Okay, well, target spotted. Let's head out and re-attack. Or not re-attack. Re-engage, reassess, try not to suck. I wonder why my Maverick is way the hell off. That's why. That should help, hopefully. Oh, hell no. Did it just dump my lock? Are you fucking kidding me? Did it just dump my fucking lock? Oh, for fuck me. God.
All players, Dark Star, forward 1, alive, east reset.
This is not going well, guys. That long mark. Okay, waypoint 27. Okay, gotcha.
No mark.
Gotcha. 27. Go, 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 go. 27. Cursor 0. Come on. Please be where I need you to be. I set a mark point. At least I tried to. God. This would be funny if I wasn't so fucking pissed about it. And at this rate, I'm just going to run out of fuel. I think I may have to call it and do some homework and figure out what the hell, how to take... lat long take MGRS coordinates and convert them into whatever bullshit the F-16 uses. Ugh, this is fucking frustrating. So like I'm turning in on the thing and my pod decides, yeah, no, you don't need to see this thing anymore, do you? And I'm like, no, I did. That's why I locked it. Wait, did my pod find something?
All players, Dark Star, Springfield 1, alive, east reset.
Did my pod actually work? More importantly, is it going to keep the lock while I... Nope! Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, guys, I may just have to call this. This just isn't going to work. So it should be off to my left. There it is! That's one way to find it, I guess. Matter of fact, I think I just saw it. rifle.
Colt 1, target destroyed. Colt 1, no further tasking available. Good job, you may depart.
Oh, good lord. What a shitty way to do it. Don't have experience of landing back at base with your munitions. Yeah, that's true.
Flight. Engage targets of opportunity.
So I have not learned whatever it is I'm supposed to learn from this mission.
2, copy. 3, copy. 2, engaging air defenses. 3, Samwatch, 3 o'clock.
Alright, so there's my keyhole.
4, running in. 3, Samwatch, 5 o'clock.
Why is it not?
3, Samwatch, 11 o'clock.
What the okay.
3, engage defensive. 3, running in.
This is a cluster. I got an idea.
2, running in. 3,
All players, Dark Star. North SA-15, destroyed.
engaging target. 3, 2, 4, running in.
So I'm just trying to bore sight my seeker head so I can slew from the HUD, but it doesn't seem to be cooperating. Because I want to kill whatever this is. And I'm gonna do that. It's just gonna be, you know.
Altitude.
2, middle on target.
Physically impossible apparently. Ah, manpad.
4, missile only. 4, engaging target. 4, target destroyed.
Altitude.
2, missile only.
Pull up. Pull
2,
up.
running in.
I love that.
Missile only.
Manpad damage 84% by 20mm cannon. He's fine.
Rounds on target. 2, missile only. 2, missile only.
It's only a flesh wound.
2, missile only.
no kill like overkill. There we go. That looks a little better.
Pull up. Altitude.
It's kind of an A10 way to do it. Not really what I came here to do, but one more Maverick left. And Winchester.
Counter.
I guess we're going with that this time. I'm not going to call that a mission success at all. Because I did not. I mean, I got my target, but I did not. I did not murder it in the using proper procedures. All right, track hire. This mission is going poorly enough. I don't need this camera shit. Come on. Well, at least I got some fuel left. I'm gonna let these guys tear up the targets.
All players, Dark Star, South HQ7 destroyed.
Yeah, that was kind of a shit show. So what I've learned here is that I need to learn how to work with the JTAC and the F-16. They don't read you the right kind of coordinates for your plane, so you've got to figure out I've got to figure out a way to. I'm sure there's a YouTube on this. Got no bloody arms left. Yeah. Yes, I have. Look, chicken. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. I mean, I got missiles on things. They killed the things I was there to kill, but like, I don't know. That was kind of some hot bullshit. I was not on my game at all.
Dark Star 1-1, Colt 1, request picture. Colt 1, Dark Star 1-1, picture, single group at full 241, 440 at 35,000.
Bulls 241, so west of Bullseye, 40 miles. Let's see. Looks like they're having a party over this way. Data link is out. And wait, there we go. That might be our answer. That looks pretty good. How much fuel we got? We got enough. Gonna project my frustrations onto those flankers. That's healthy, right? Let's see, what do we got? Who are you? It's probably my wingman. Yeah, it's a friendly brake lock. That's my flight. Okay, so let's go out to 40 miles, range while search, 60 degrees azimuth. He was high. Let's bring that up to a 2-bar scan. That should help. Actually, let's go 80.
Dark Star 1-1, Colt 1, declare. Colt 1, Dark Star 1-1, contact is high.
Oh, it's on! The trick will be to get there before
In from the northeast, engaging armor at bullseye 161.
before the actual fighter sweep gets there. I'm gonna make this flanker pay for my mistakes. Why am I so damn slow? I should be pretty slick. I punched off my tanks. My speed brakes are in.
Tusk 1, in from the east, engaging artillery at bulls 153-412.
Where'd he go?
Tusk 1, in from the northeast, engaging armor at bullseye 161-413.
Closing at 60 knots? Jeez.
Artillery at bullseye 153.
That'll take like 1,000 hours. It's 40 miles. Or I at least get up to a good high Mach number. I'm at like... not fast. 90 knot closure, 100. Hopefully he's turning. Plus there's somebody off to my 3. Gotta watch that fuel.
Dark Star 1-1, Colt 1, request bogey dope.
He's running away?
Colt 1, Dark Star 1-1, Rob 357, 422 at 23,000.
357 sounds like a bigger priority. Oh yeah, for 22? I may have made a huge mistake here. That's what I'm talking about.
One, in from the southwest, engaging artillery at Bulls 153-412. Tusk 1, in from the west, engaging armor at Bulls 162-414.
That's a little more like it. Man, I thought he was closing. Man, this is 80 kinds of jacked up, this whole mission.
Tusk 1, kill armor at Bulls 161-413. Tusk 1, kill artillery. Darkstar 1-1, Colt 1, declare. Colt 1, Darkstar 1-1, contact is unknown.
Ah, come on. You said.
Darkstar 1-1, Colt 1, declare.
I'm just gonna yeet this thing out.
Darkstar 1-1, contact is unknown.
War crimes. J11, okay, good.
Tusk 1, kill armor at Bulls 162-414.
Where'd he go? The 9X still has a good lock. Alright. I'll take it. Now let's go home. I'm not even supposed to be here today. That was like an R Max AMRAM shot too. I'll take it, I guess. Gotta watch that fuel state.
Darkstar 1-1, Colt 1, request picture. Colt 1, Darkstar 1-1, clean.
Well, mission accomplished, but man, what a mess. Is there a way to dim this AOA indexer? Apparently there is. It's still freaking bright. Oof, what a mess. So, there's got to be a right way to work with JTAC to slave your Mavericks onto the thing you're trying to blow up. You little shit, what are you doing back there? Didn't want to play when I was running in hot with AMRAAMs in his face. Well, as far as videos go, at this point it's going to be kind of, probably not a whole lot going on, so I'm going to compress time. A lot. The real question is, do I fly the final mission or not after this? I would like to wrap up the campaign. Alright, alright, alright.
RTB.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut some corners off this flight plan. I don't feel the need to go out there and like wave at the tanker on the way through. Yeah. Oh, but also we didn't get shot. That's cool. It's always a plus. I guess that's almost legible.
Colt 1, inbound. Colt 1, fly heading 183, 170, QFE 28.22, runway 21, pattern altitude.
2822. What was it? 183. Squish some time. Oh, this is a long way out. Alright. Suppose I could try to use the ILS. You know what? Let's see how that shit works. I think we've got a... $109.1. Hey, hey. So is it going to give me command ILS on the HUD? Doesn't look like it. Actually, we would need the course to be, what is it, runway, 21. See if that does anything. Taken at 12 X-ray. You can see I never use this shit. Hey, they're harmonizing. It's adorable. Sounds like a robot symphony. Now, do I get HUD symbology, or does it just beep at me until I get there?
Colt 1, Dark Star, push NATSIF, UHF Channel 4.
Man, this thing will not bleed speed even if the nose is a little low. Get the speed brakes out, throttle at idle, nose down, 240, and it's accelerating. And that looks good enough. Is that an octave? I think so. Not harmonizing technically. Damn it, plane. Slow down. Damn. I'm gonna have to do a... something stupid like this. And it's still at 187.
Altitude. Altitude.
There we go. Dudes. Oh, God. His VASI lights show him high, but it definitely does not feel that way. Oh, come on. Everything about this mission sucks. I don't think I did anything right. Having a bad hair day. Yeah, I think I might take a break after this one. I think that's the answer to should I do the next mission or not, is my biorhythms are off and I just need to take... The universe is just telling me I need to take a break, you know? That's cool of you to say, but that was a shit landing. That was like a that was a Hornet touchdown. Ba-boom! Yeah, I think I've created a few parts jets in this campaign. Can't make out the taxi line. There it is. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a break after this one, though, because the next one's the last mission. I looked at the briefing for it. It does look pretty cool. I'd like to do it some justice. Great justice, in fact. Where's the thing? You think? RTB, you don't say. I'm just gonna call it at that. That was horrible. All around. I mean, I blew a bunch of shit up, but none of it was remotely professional or anything. 2 flanker kills, 3 air defenses. 2 of those were dudes with a man pad. 4 vehicles. Yeah, all right. Time to call that. That's for sure. Next mission's kind of cool. You can see the briefing. It's like a GBU-10s attacking a tunnel opening. It's like a trench run. You have no seed cover and no fighter sweep. It's just you. I think it's just you guys. And there may be a fighter sweep, but you fly this. Where are we at? Colt 1 player. Yeah. So it goes like this, and I think waypoint here. Your job is to toss. It's kind of like a spoiler alert, Maverick. You dropping GBU-10s on a tunnel opening and lasing them, and that's the last mission. So we'll be doing that. I'll try to send a post out or something. I'm gonna take a break and unfuck my brain here and have a smoothie or something. I'll be back later. Thanks for watching. As always awesome. And I'll be back later, probably today. Ugh. Oh yeah, before I go, I'll put a link to that video. Here it is. Yeah, found it. I'll put it in the chat. Copy. Right here. This is your guy. If you want that music and more like it, check that out. Actually, I'll put that and music video for airplane nerds. I'll put it in the video description too in case the chat gets lost. Enjoy it. Yes, that's them. I can still hear that opening. I'm not playing it right now, but I can hear that bum, 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 and that opening graphic. It's 80s as hell. Enjoy it. And I'll catch you later. And thanks for watching.